Welcome to the Leadership Spark podcast, where we equip you to be the great leader your people deserve. This is Corey, and today we're going to continue talking about the power of story. We're going to continue talking about the need for you as a leader and me as a leader to start with story. When we think about building a team, we think about building a team that trusts each other, or a team that is cohesive and connected, or a team that produces the results that we expect the team to produce. Then it starts with story. And yesterday I shared a quote from Mr. Rogers, and he said that there's no one you can't learn to love once you've heard their story. And that is so true. But also story impacts performance. And you see this throughout all kinds of domains or industries or types of work or types of companies or types of teams. But today I want to share with you something that I learned recently from the New England Patriots. Now, let me say this. I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan. So the last team that I want to talk about is a New England Patriots. I will never forget that moment with the New England Patriots. But I learned something recently from Mike Vrabel, who is the head coach of the New England Patriots, that really emphasized and reinforced this idea of the power of story. And this was a video that was sent to me by one of my teammates, Will Davies, when he said, you got to see this and you got to talk about it on the Leadership Spark podcast. And so ESPN did a small documentary before a football game one week on Mike Vrabel, the head coach of the New England Patriots, and the 4 H's that he uses. Now, Mike Vrabel became the New England Patriots coach a few months ago. And one of the first things that he implemented is what he called the 4 H's. And the 4 H's are history, heroes, heartbreaks, and hopes. And so he created this space from day one. He said, guys, I'm going to create this space for each of you to be able to stand in front of your teammates and share your history, to share your heroes, to share your heartbreaks, and to share your hopes. And systematically, throughout the last several months, teammates have stood before each other and shared these things. And in the video, in this documentary, it's just 4 minutes long. It's really fascinating because they interview the team and some of the teammates. And they talk about how learning people's histories really opened their eyes to be able to understand them at deeper levels. Hearing people's hopes helped them to relate to them, because in a lot of ways, there's a teammate that has the exact same hopes that you do, and you can now interact with them on a completely different level. Or maybe it's heroes, or maybe it's heartbreaks. When you hear people's heartbreaks, you can resonate with that, or you can have a deeper understanding of who they are and why they are the way that they are as a teammate. And they talked about how it brought them together. They talked about how it made them even more than just getting a paycheck. It wanted them to go to battle for each other and side by side, go out there and execute, and go out there and work for one another at a level that increased performance and increased the way that they would think about their teammates, but also the way that they would get each other's backs on the field. And so it had a significant impact on the performance of the New England Patriots, and they won a lot of football games this year. In fact, they may win the Super Bowl. Who knows? They may win it yet again. So, but I wanted to share that with you because that's something that you can do on your team. You can say, hey, in this meeting, everybody gets 10 minutes. History, heroes, heartbreaks, and hopes. And give the opportunity for people to share their stories. And as they share their stories, you will see the impact it has on the performance of your team. And so last thing I'll say about Mike Vrabel, which is very important for us to understand if we're going to implement this, is that the first person to share their story, the first person to share the 4 H's, the first person to say, this is my history, my heroes, my heartbreaks, my hopes, was Mike Vrabel. And so as a leader, we have to go first whenever it comes to sharing stories, because we can set the tone and the pace for vulnerability, and other people will follow. If you, the leader, start by sharing your 4 H's, then you're creating a space where other people feel safe to share their 4 H's and be vulnerable. And when you get to that level as a team, you can unlock potential, you can unlock performance, and you can raise the bar, and you can perform at levels you didn't think you could as a team, just by implementing this simple strategy of starting with story. And so steal it from the New England Patriots. Steal it. Please steal it from them and go and do the 4 H's with your team. And I guarantee you, you will see the impact on the way your team works together.